This is Death, Liquid Death to be more specific. Liquid Death is a billion-dollar brand that sells what exactly? It's not alcohol or an energy drink or anything fun like that. It's just water. But how did canned water become a billion-dollar company in less than a decade? Liquid Death's story starts in Delaware with a man named Mark Cesario. Reportedly, Cesario was quite the metalhead and must have attended his fair share of live music, because that's exactly where he came up with the idea for Liquid Death. At the 2009 Vans Warped Tour, Mike Cesario noticed that although plenty of performers were sponsored by energy drink companies, most of them just preferred drinking water during performances, which puts them 2 steps ahead of 90% of my audience. But to maintain the edgy punk image, they often poured water into energy drink cans. This observation sparked Cesario's idea to create a water brand with the rebellious, punky branding of energy drinks. When designing the original can, Mark Cesario was also inspired by the album covers of the punk or metal music that started this whole thing. So he combined his background in punk rock and graphic design to come up with Liquid Death, complete with just the right amount of skulls and angst. Cesario initially partnered with a ragtag crew of innovators, including an artist and a bartender, so there really is hope for all you art majors out there. But at this point, Cesario wasn't quite ready to dive headfirst into his idea, so he soft-launched his brand digitally by dropping a video advertisement onto Facebook in 2017, before production had even started. But lucky for him, the people loved it, and the video garnered more than 3 million views and 100,000 likes in just 2 months. That's more than this channel has gained during its entire lifespan, so be sure to like the video, subscribe, and comment down below to help us out. When Liquid Death did make it to shelves, it was off to an incredible start, making $100,000 in sales in its first month alone. That's more than this channel has made. Flash forward to 2019 and the company opened its digital doors to consumers, making its drinks available for purchase online. From here, the growth simply never stopped, and Cesario's project became one of the fastest growing beverage brands ever. They started popping up all over America, from 7-Eleven to Whole Foods. 3 years later, in 2021, Liquid Death received a $500 million valuation. After 2 more years of growth, the drink finally crossed the threshold and became a billion-dollar company. Liquid Death also crossed the Pacific, landing on Australian shelves towards the end of 2024, which is great because that's how I came up with the idea for this video. Now, hearing about another success story is great, but if you really want to pick apart Liquid Death and really get to the meat and potatoes of what made them so successful, there's one word that sticks out: marketing. And it makes sense. I mean, if you really think about it, rising in the water industry isn't exactly easy. There's not a lot of innovation going on. I mean, you can't exactly integrate AI into a bottle of water. Not yet, at least. Now for starters, that advertisement that they dropped at launch was an incredible first step. It was weird, it was silly, and it was kind of funny in a Facebooky way. Like we touched on earlier, Cesario was originally a graphic designer by trade, and he has said multiple times that his pivot towards advertising and his lean on marketing was specifically because he wanted to create something funny, something that he thought he could only really achieve on the marketing scene. Lucky for him, that dream paid off, because those metrics, the millions of views and hundreds of thousands of likes, those don't come from a boring advertisement. He said in a CNBC interview that his brand had to be insanely interesting just to survive. And that's something that his brand has always lived up to, because ever since their conception, Liquid Death has always strived for being a little outside the box, or the can. Additionally, anyone with a speck of marketing knowledge knows that the key to a good brand is design. Now, normally if you wanted to design a water brand, you want to invoke a sense of purity, of crystal blues and mountains, I guess. Because water isn't supposed to be fun or rebellious or cool. I mean, it's water. But Liquid Death's grungy punk rock look completely subverted what anyone would expect. So it simply invited consumers to ask themselves the question: what does punk rock water taste like? It's the same, it's all water. But visually, it's totally different. It makes drinking water cool. Cesario said on the topic of marketing that mediocrity is the biggest sign of failure, and he really reflected this in his own strategy. Speaking of quotes from Mark, in that aforementioned interview with CNBC, Mark Cesario stated that one of his team's favorite brainstorming strategies is to put forward the question, what is the dumbest idea we could possibly do for this? Later that year, Liquid Death released its own line of NFTs. But the point is, Liquid Death isn't afraid to try something new. It never has been. Ultimately, Liquid Death isn't winning over customers because it's healthier, or cheaper, or more advanced than any of its competitors. At the end of the day, it's all water. Liquid Death is winning because it's not afraid to be different. If Mark Cesario had spent his whole career trying to play it safe and just do what everyone else was doing, he would have gotten nowhere. That first advertisement that blew the brand up, it'd probably only be as successful as this channel. But speaking of success and this channel, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to like the video, and if you want to see more, be sure to subscribe. If you've got anything to say down below, feel free to comment. This has been ENVEE.